What's good, y'all? What's good, YouTube? It's your guy, Pretty Boy Hanzo, back with another banger. So today we're gonna talk about social anxiety, yo. And the reason I'm doing this is because I actually got bad social anxiety. So we're gonna do this while I'm taking my rounds and walking through everywhere, you know. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. But I'm gonna talk to y'all and let y'all know what the business is. Listen, man. I don't know, like, I don't know. It's like when I meet people, when I like meet people and stuff like that, I don't know. I'm unsure about everybody. You know, I'm like a cautious person, you know? I'm like a cautious person. Especially when I'm in new areas and stuff like that, you know? Like, being in this new area where I'm at right here, you meet all type of characters. So I pretty much stay to myself. I don't talk to a lot of people. But you know, can I say that I met some down-to-earth people? Some. But I say about 12%, about 12%, out of that 88 percent ratio, That's not a good thing though, because that means like the world is becoming like uptight, to like uptight, like you can't even talk to nobody no more. Like soon as you start a conversation with somebody, they ultimately jump into something toxic, something negative, and then you gotta separate yourself. And that's why I said this is what, this is what my social anxiety, goes on. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe because I'm actually taking y'all, like, as I walk through the town and everything and whatnot. I decided to do something different, I decided to walk around. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe and like up the video, But like I said, like, I mean, I know I could probably come off sometime, or maybe from a distance, I've been told that, I look intimidating because one of my favorite colors to wear, is black. Like, I like wearing black. So that's my color I like to wear. And, someone told me, this female told me, she said, from a distance, I look intimidated. I said, how? And said it's not, an insult or nothing like that. It's just from a distance, you look intimidating and everything. I guess maybe it's the way I do my face. I don't know. But like I said, these days I'm working on looking less intimidating. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. I mean, probably 60-something percent of my day I'm laughing, or have a smile on my face. So I don't know, y'all. But like I said, has it gotten better? My social anxiety got better? No, it actually got worse. Because I have this thing where, those who have social anxiety know, is when you get in a new area, in a new crowd, and the way people look at you. So it's like, you're looking, I don't know. But, you looking, they look at you weird, and stuff like that. I get it. Everybody looks at somebody weird without knowing them and everything like that. Or I guess they trying to figure them out, and everything. But in some cases, staring isn't a good thing, because you could creep somebody out or you could make somebody feel uncomfortable. And you don't want to do that. People deserve their privacy. Everybody deserves their privacy. Everybody deserves their comfortability. Nobody should feel, uncomfortable, in any area. You know what I mean? So I say that to say this. I don't take any medication for my social anxiety, but I actually, the best medicine I do is I just distance myself. I actually distance myself from the world. I be out the way. Like, I don't stay in one place for a long time. I'm always moving. I guess that's kind of something I got from my mom and stuff like that, Always moving from place to place and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I guess that's something I probably took from my mom, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's not that I don't want to know people and don't want friends. It's just that, I don't know, I'm just really sensitive about who I have in my life because, these days, people get a little bit weird. You know what I mean? They get a little bit weird. And then you got to hit them with that invisible scissors and cut them off. So, this is why, legitly, for y'all to know me, I probably have about one person who's officially my friend that I rock with because I've known them since like a classmate and everything. And have we been through it? Yeah, we've been through it. We've been through it. But, we've been through it and everything like that. But like I said, with time, because we've known each other so long, it's easy to get over those hurdles, when those difficulties come. Because everybody has difficulties while being friends. Nobody has a perfect friendship and you don't have no problems. That's impossible. There's going to be some problems between you and another individual. So, that's why I'm saying, like, my social anxiety has made me very overprotective over myself. I'm always cautious who I have myself around all the time. I'm never lacking, I'm never just hanging out with anybody. These days, I'm pretty much by myself because, like I said, it's just the way I am, It's just the way I am, over the period of time, I've gotten to a point where I don't feel like I can trust people, so the only person I can trust is myself, Pretty much trying to trust anybody else is like trying to win the lottery. So, I mean, that's advice that I would say to y'all. That's drives me to saying this advice to y'all. Don't just trust anybody. Focus on yourself and protect yourself. Don't just put yourself with anybody. Because you put yourself with anybody, then you're going to wind up in the middle of something that you didn't want to be in the middle of. And that's not a good thing. And I know I'm not the only one out there who has, bad, social anxiety and stuff like that. I know there's many people that has this issue. So that's why I decided to talk about this today. And I wouldn't mind that you guys share, your thoughts and share your comments. Because that's what it's about. And maybe you guys have some tips for me, and how to control it, how to, deal with this. But, yeah. I don't know, for some reason, Being by myself is when I feel the most safest. You know, when I'm with people, I don't know, I get kind of worried. Or, you know, I kind of get worried, like, you know, I just be waiting for them to make a mistake or do something wrong and everything. So I don't know. But like I said, if you know what I'm saying and you understand, and it's the same thing for you, you know, comment and let me know. I'm very interested in, you know, and how you deal with your social anxiety. So, you know, y'all make sure, you know, you like, comment, and subscribe. And, you know, I'll see y'all in the next one.